Yo, we're here with another episode of Map Meandering in CS2. Today we're looking at Firestrike. This guy's first map of the Gray Box variety for hit map, fifth game CS2. This is the epic series of Meandering where I meander around maps, basically reviewing them because I like doing that. Just a quick thing. I like how the textures are not. It's okay. That's wonderful. I think that's cool. Got a little bit of like detailing in the area, even though it's a gray box. Pressing tab and looking at the mini-map, I can't tell what's simpler, so I'm just gonna go A, because A is epic, or awesome. This is a wallbang. That's kind of cool, so you could wallbang deep. So you go through here, which I'm gonna call graffiti, because there's graffiti and also paint on the walls. And oh, we got some stuff on the floor. Isn't that wonderful? We got a little bit of detailing, even though it's like not a real map. This is a prop that has been sized up by a large amount. I didn't know that this prop was still in the game. I probably should have expected it to be. So, anyways, A site, we go up or we go not up. I'm gonna look at not up first. We go down, and there's a thing here, and there's also a way to jump back up here, and all this is so bangable to the highest degree with all this thin little skinny pin where you can bang this quite hard. It's that's pretty cool that I can just spam through there if I want, like, and then we got an area here, and it loops back into this yellow area, and then this is the thing that I saw earlier when I went the lower route. So this is like your main, and this area is like, I kind of want to call it banana. This lower left area is banana, and then we got this little ramp, and then we can go here to top banana, right? And this is like literally half wall. This is very banana-esque. You can get on half wall by going up this plat or ramp area. You got a wall bang into a place. You got a little cubby. So this just culminates in the same area. It just lets you peek, top banana and main like a different way. So it's pretty much guaranteed. I mean, I don't know the timings yet, but I'm assuming that with the way the map is structured, it leads to T's being able to take engagements from multiple areas on like a CT in this area. We'll look at timings in more detail later. Something I forgot to mention is that we have all the spawns laid out in a nice little U shape, so you can tell exactly what they are as well. This detail is nice, just have to mention that. That's just cool. Lots of bangability on all this cover. It's not something hard that you are going to be safely playing around. You will get spammed. Speaking of getting spammed, you can wallbang so much of the site if you so chose. If you wanted to and you learned the lineups with a rifle of some kind, you could spam a lot of stuff, or you could use a Negev if you're a psychopath. Oh, we got the fence there to minimize. Okay, so it's a bit less bangable than I might have originally thought, which honestly is probably good. It's still pretty bangable though. We got the scaled up props. That's pretty epic. So you're coming out main. You got this main angle here, CT, and then you got. This is like, you got a bit of a tuck angle here, but it's not real. Like, you're half your body, you're just gonna play like this, and it's like a pretty fair 50-50 fight, and once you get a kill, you don't have anywhere to back up, so you're probably gonna play around here in reality. I don't know why, but like, when I stood here for a second, it looked like this was like a platform area. I don't know why, like, it kinda, and I was like, what, did I miss a connection out to here? But no, there's nothing. But that could be a thing to add. I have no clue what the map is like, we'll see. Yeah, you can come out to the right side onto the bomb site itself. Oh, got a nice little thing to jump on. Back area here. This connects back to mid. Let's take a look at it from the CT perspective. I spawn here as a CT. I'm like, yippee, it's time to go. Oh, we got I saw this earlier, but it's a nice bit of detail that both teams can see. It's kind of like offer living space. I guess I have a bit of a theme in mind with what they plan to do. You can't, if you rub up against the right, you can't go up. That just feels awkward. I would just adjust it to let me do that, because it feels awkward that I can't. But it's okay. So I peek over, and yeah, it's a bomb site that I am retaking. I don't know why, but I feel like there's a larger drop, just visually. But it's not like that in reality. Is there movement I could do? Maybe if I was a long jump lord, I could go from this barrel to on top of this box. But I'm like not talented in any way, shape, or form. And I struggle to even crouch jump right now, apparently. What is wrong with me? I'm out of it. But you could maybe get under if you're like good at the game. Or, you could just like use a boost and get up there. let's just like actually think about the site. I'm a T. I'm like pushing this. I flap. You know, I got this angle that I got to clear first. I'm probably not actually gonna properly fight it. I'm gonna smoke or molly. Probably smoke is like what you'd actually want to do with like a lineup, but like there's a chance that you fuck up the way it bounces. Theoretically, I don't know. Just running throw smoke over, and that spread's like good enough to deal with that angle. And then you're probably gonna molly this back area as well. Just winging it. And you could actually get good at it and get it to land for someone playing close on the box. Or you could have two people throw a molly, so one guy mollies deep into the corner, and one guy goes close on the box. And I guess also the corner. But it's definitely possible to find a good way to throw two mollies to flush out this area. And throw one easy smoke CT, all with like minimal practice necessary to find. Because it's just like kind of figuring out where to stand as you throw it over the wall. And then I just kind of like push the site, and you know, I take aim duels on these people. I feel like as a CT, I'm going to be opping here a lot, and maybe opping here. But again, this is probably going to be getting smoked. Here, it's harder to throw easy utility, but it's definitely possible. You have a bit of a staging area here, so to speak, to be like, oh, I'm gonna throw some molly, and oh, that's not going to be anywhere useful. But you can be like, oh, I'm gonna bounce the molly like that. There we go. And then you can just clear like the close right area theoretically and just like run straight. Aim duel around this. Probably get some nice flash that pops around here, so that way it doesn't blind people entering on T side and full blinds anyone holding around this angle. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, there's definitely some options that exist on this bomb site for T's to throw utility pretty easily and take control of the site. And as a CT, it just feels like I'm taking aim duels around probably this big box. This is like my main thing. Like, again, could be opping back here or back here. But there's definitely going to be a smoke that is just found. And that's going to be covered. And then there's going to be a smoke here. And then, you know, you've sectioned off CT and the people playing around like the mid connector thingy. They could maybe like try and, you know, move around back here. They could jump on this, jump in. Like this barrel, I think, is very big for allowing, you know, peeking over smokes and fighting. But once again, it's not hard to find like a flash that'll attempt to alleviate having to deal with that. And if you were really, really unhappy about, you know, oh, I might have to do something about that, you could probably find a molly that lands there. Yeah, so it's simple, and it's quite connected to mid over here, it seems like, which we'll touch on later. Let's just looking at mid for a little bit, it seems interesting, but we'll touch on it later. Yeah, I said all there is and then some about this site. I don't know what I would change yet, if I were to change it. I'm thinking of it. As a T, you know, I think the contact, I need to look at the contact point. Okay, I'm going to start on this circle, and I'm going to move at 20. I've started moving at 20, and I'm just gaming. I'm just running up as fast as I can. I'm peeking this angle at 9. And I'm fighting this angle at 12. So I fight CT at 12 and I peek top and in at 9. Let's take a look at it from the CT perspective. I'm gonna go from, I guess, the closest spawn, and I will go at 52 because I feel like it. Okay, so yeah, I'm up to here at like 11, and they were, you know, peeking this at like 12. But you could probably get like an angle like here, so at around 11 too. So yeah, the fight is like, I'm a CT and I could theoretically get tucked as close as here, and I'm a T and I could probably be like peeking around here. So there's just going to be definitely utility, you know, as I'm running up. It's like, oh, let me just, you know, eat this. You know, play around that. Maybe, you know, bounce it to like not be ass. But definitely molly smokes in this area. A T can very easily just come up here though and also take fights from a different angle, not have to worry about that. It's, you know, map was played a bit. You probably find like a consistent way to throw a molly like from this area. It bounces off there and lands on this other area. It's definitely like doable to be like, oh yeah, we're gonna have a molly. So, you know, double molly, one lower, one upper, and then you take like deep control. assist it with like a maybe a, you know, a far back flash. That didn't land exactly where I wanted it to, but you could probably assist with the flash and re-swing once the mollies are gone and take that banana control. Kind of similar to what you do on Inferno banana. But yeah, that's A site. Interesting. I like it. If I were to change anything about it, the one thing that comes to my mind is like I want a thing here because I think it'd be nice to be able to jump over here and then fight over these smokes. That would be cool. And I didn't even think about this. This is probably not clipped, and so it's boostable. So this isn't like I don't want these barrels to actually be here, but I don't want to add a player because that takes time and effort. So instead, we're just going to check. It's clipped. Okay. I'd say maybe make this boostable. Similar to the map we looked at Gale before, it'd be a boost where you can get spammed while you're doing it. So I think it's like, you know, pretty risky. So yeah, add box here, make that not clipped so you can boost. I think that'd be cool. And maybe push this wall in about like, you know, you see that this distance you got right here, probably like, I don't know, double that. And so it feels like something that you can play like better. I want to be able to like actually play around this area, and it would feel nice for like post plant too. Because post plant, you know, it doesn't feel like I can really play here. If it was a little deeper and I could play like this, then I'd feel a bit more confident in my ability to fight in this area. Although this is a pretty alright site, it's okay. There's a bit of a long angle, but it's not like that. It's just how it is. And you use utility when you fight it. This is the main angle of the site, and it's super easy to smoke. You don't even need like a great lineup. Okay, you're gonna want like a better lineup than that, but like just like in the general vicinity, and boom, you got yourself like a thing. Okay, I'm terrible, but you understand. It's easy enough to smoke, and you're gonna be double mollying. Yeah. Let's look at B bomb site. Okay, so I'm a T. I'm here. I run. Oh, okay, so I can go right side. This is mid. This is just a different way to peek. You can peek mid from bottom mid, or you can peek mid from the supply room type thing. And it's like a drop that you can jump crouch back up. So yeah, drop and bottom mid. It culminates into a bottom mid and like a ramp, and then this is your... Oh, I'm like blind. I didn't even notice this. So as I'm going A, I can like use this to cancel. Or if I'm going mid, I can cancel and rotate back A fast if I'm like a mid lane or something. That's cool. I'm a fan of that. I don't know why, but this feels like at some point this was... It probably was not, but this was like a route, like a double door or something, and you move and then you drop, or a staircase. Maybe something that could be added. Doesn't have to be whatsoever, but I don't know. Could be. This is like an area that is for utility. That's cool. That they are very clear about that. I'm looking at mid more than I originally planned to, but that's because it's neat. This vent appears to be not rotated properly. But imagining that it was the normal way, it's just a vent. We'll get back to it. Right? Not breakable. Okay. Let's stop looking at B through mid and look at B through B. Why do we have this? You know what? It's for utility. Now that you know there's a cross there, you're like, I can make a cool lineup. So, anyways, I've been looking at like this mid area too long. You go B through long. You have two options. You go left, you go right. Right is like upper on metal, and then you take like a higher elevated peak, and it's accessible from both sides. And wait, is this clipped? Because if it's not clipped, oh yeah. So you could theoretically stand here. That's funny. And you can also peek this lower route, which is pretty fine. This is mid, and the vent. Interesting. It's right next to what B main is basically. They kind of culminate the sum. I want to call it red because of the red light, but it's not that red. There's also another vent here. Wait, no, there's the one vent. I'm stupid. I just saw this and thought it was a vent, but it's just a utility hole. To be like, oh, there's a guy there. Let me just molly him. Before I go through the vent, I guess. That's kind of cool. You could like fully flush out this area with like 2 mollies and just take vent and make sure no one's lurking in there if you really wanted to. And you have a utility hole through over there, which means that from here, like as you're getting ready to go B, you can be like, yippee, there's a smoke, it's gonna land. Wait, it's actually definitely doable to get a smoke in it. Now this is red. I take back what I said earlier about wanting to call this little rinky-dink wooden room red. This is over here is red. And this connects to CT. I haven't been looking at B side like that all properly. Upper. Okay, so you have heaven, and then you have CT, but I want to call it red because it's a massive red area. You know, the whole area is red, but like this is specifically CT. I guess you could say. and there is most certainly a smoke that you can throw as you're running out, like from here, from spawn, that I'm not going to find the exact lineup of, but I just want to see, like, if it's, you know, a little bit more doable than just, yeah, okay, yep, 100% doable. Alright, I just wanted to make sure, like, it's possible to get a jump throw from back here. So you can do it super early in the round, yeah, and get it to plume early, but I don't know if you'd even want to. You wouldn't throw it like that early, of course. This exists as something you can't stand on, which makes me sad, because I'm like, oh, yippee, I can do an NBK type thing where I have extra elevation. But it's just there for the wall bangs. It's not like a lip that pokes out, it pokes in. I just, the ambient occlusion on this made me think otherwise, if that makes sense. Like, it doesn't, it looks wrong. So yeah, we got this upper area that you can make your way into, probably, if you don't suck at movement. Why am I just so terrible at moving right now? Is this actually not a doable jump? What am I bouncing on when I'm terrible. There we go. And you could jump peek from back here for information on this heaven angle and be like, oh, they're there? Molly time. This is pretty interesting. So you have, okay, this is an absolute rat area, and is this clipped on purpose? No, it's just barely, what the fuck? So this side is barely too tall for a person to go over, but this isn't. Just make it flush, heart emoji. This is stupid, and just make it flush. And it's like toxic on hitmap nuke. It used the angle that used to exist that was stupid. That's basically what that is. There's a bathroom symbol there. Is this what it wants to be called? I feel like calling it toxic because that's what it is. You can, on retake, you also wallbang this. I'm gonna be honest. It's cool that you can wallbang it, but I don't think it should exist because I feel like it favors like. Because this is already such like a bad place to be. This is not meant to exist, is it? I feel like it's not meant to exist, especially because it's like a one-way angle. A bit of an overzealous use of no draw. Probably get rid of that. We got this angle here as well. I mean, the splotchy ball, and it's not. I can't jump. It's like I'm clipping. I can't get on the edges of these. So as a T, I'm pushing the bomb site. I can throw utility over this thing. Oh, I suck. I'm like the worst. I can throw utility over. Probably could find like a smoke line up for like the red CT thing maybe? I don't know. You definitely find a smoke for heaven from back here. Where it's like, oh, I crouch, I look there, and then I don't know. That's not gonna be anywhere. You're gonna have to actually spend time. But it's definitely doable, because you just gotta get it over that box. It's a little awkward. Also, we have windows here, which lead back in the middle. So, meaning that, as an A player, I'd hate that you have to break them every round because nuke, but it's okay. I could theoretically throw a re-smoke. Oh, yeah, I can re-smoke, like, perfectly to B main if I actually got a lineup. Like, it's like old Inferno, where you would, cross-map smokes. What am I doing? That's terrible. I'm the worst. But old Inferno type shit. Where you would do there's definitely a lineup, and then you could keep the smoke for so long. So what, smokes in CS2 were like 18 seconds times 5, 90 seconds of stall on this one angle if you really wanted it. The B-side players can throw this. If I'm a mid player, it's probably not hard to quickly jump into here with like, you know, if I'm posted here, right, you can just drop a couple smokes here as well, and then there's like one guy just like, yippee. Here's a smoke for B made, and just do that consistently. And I actually got it to land properly this time. You probably want it deeper, but you get the idea. What am I supposed to do as a T on this bomb site? Because if I take mid, I get access to this, which is cool. It lets me not fight heaven, I just have to fight CT and then angels on site. And I can kind of isolate heaven. If I go through main, I can go through upper. And once the smoke fades, we can see there's, you know, a fight with the right side of heaven. The left side can't see me at all. I could jump peek for info early. I could molly, maybe. I don't, yeah. Could molly smoke that from safety over here. Just kind of running through. I don't know, it's a little difficult maybe, but you could definitely just safely molly heaven like every round. Like as you're coming out. Maybe a little worried that like you're exposed to the sliver of sight from like if a guy's playing here. I think this is an op angle that you might want to play, but who knows. when it comes to full safety, there's no full safety. I guess here. But like, I don't know. I think you're just gonna want to like get into there and then do it. And it's consistently just molly that area. You'd also get some molly for back here on this tall box. Like I think one of the angles that you're gonna want to be playing like a lot. Like imagine I'm playing here and then all of a sudden, oh no, I'm mollied. Ah, then I gotta move. So getting a molly to land there is probably useful. This area as well, I guess, is going to be a valuable molly location. I'm a T. I'm running out. Whee! I take gunfight on heaven, ideally mollied. Down here, it's ideally mollied, so they're flushed out, right? As a CT, I want to play on this big box for heaven, but like that's like my main way to hold the main like in a more aggressive way. But I'm probably going to get flushed out. So instead, I'm opting from this box, which is an idea that exists, but can easily probably get mollied by that. That went too deep, but like you could probably like it's hard to get it to land for someone on here for sure if you knew what you were doing. I just find the way this pop is scaled so funny. I don't know what it is, but it's just comedic to me. But you could definitely get a molly here. If you figure out what you're doing, probably like a running jump, a running jump, and then it'll bounce off of your head. Hey, this is doable. I'm not that guy though. But lots of utility to be thrown on the site if you wanted it. You could get Heaven Smoke easy, CT Smoke from spawn easy. As I'm coming out, it's just like I don't think that I have to clear. I think utility just forces them out into the open. Like this is like the one thing that I feel like utility can't easily deal with. And that's what a flash is for. And that's like going to be one of the things that you fight on. And you could probably honestly just, as you're running, like, bounce molly. And you make sure that they're in the close angle, basically. And if they're in the close angle, then that's even, you just bounce a molly like this. And not exactly like that, but you get the idea. I think it's entirely doable to take the site with a lot of like 2-3 mollies that land in places like just from here. I can get a molly that jumps and makes sure that this guy is swinging to the left behind these barrels into the open into 2 angles, right? And then they're like kind of fucked. And at the same time, from that like same idea, I can if I was better at the game, I could do it, but I'm like terrible, so. But like a molly heaven instead of molly, it's doing it where you're exposed is like the safest. Like it's like you don't want to be exposed, but it's probably not going to be exposed actually because CTs are going to have a smoke down here, so you're safe to throw it. Wait, so maybe you don't want to smoke into the CT. Well, let me take a look at that contact point. I've been talking a lot about this without even thinking. I'm going at 25. I can hold at 7 seconds. And at 11 seconds, I can peek this long lane if I wanted to. That's pretty epic. Let me go at 7. I went a little early, but it's fine. Okay, yeah. So, wait, let me think. I didn't pay attention to the exact area that I was worried about. 7 seconds, I'm going. Because I saw where I kissed the man at. I have vision. Yeah, okay, so I can stand here at 9. And so just to clarify, if I'm coming from here in the T-spawn region, let me go at 9. And then if I can make it by 0 and kiss, that's cool. But if I can go faster... Okay, I'm holding the angle, I'm getting swung as I'm coming out here. As I'm coming here, I can get swung. So that means that as a T, I'm back here, I get a nade in my pocket, and maybe another person does, and we just nade stack. It's gonna be like a yippee, double nade. It's gonna make sure there's no aggression from a CT. Hell, you could even, if you wanted to, you could go so far as to throw a molly and make sure that there's no aggression from the CT. Because if a CT doesn't aggress this area, what are they gonna do? They have to, playing on site is very hard here, because again, it's so safe and easy to get a molly for here and here. I guess, like, if you hear a molly being thrown, you know to peek this and start spamming, like, wall bang for where, you know, likely the molly is being thrown from, if it's for heaven and for here. but yeah. And this is like the one angle that I feel like I can do something on. I can opt from here, but I feel like you're just gonna get mollied out by something that lands there. If, you know, something perfect can be found, which definitely can be. If time was spent, that lands not where I wanted to. That goes too deep, but it's definitely like, it's definitely possible to get the molly to land in the desired area. Yeah, that's like close. It's like it can. You're like you're like a little scared. If I rethrow that like 3 times, wait, that's gonna. It doesn't really spread as well as I thought to this area. The first one spread perfectly, but all the subsequent ones did not. All of them popped in the air, but it was like close. It was like popped in the air, like near where it needed to. Yeah, see, this is it. It just it has to have just a more consistent. It's definitely possible if someone's got the time. You could find a molly that lands there consistently, has a good spread. I think this might be it. Because like if I'm actually hopping on the angle, then I get scared by that molly. If I'm hopping on this angle, yeah. I can't opt like here. I can't opt in the actual area very well. Yeah, it's definitely. Why am I spending this long on a molly? It's just no. This area is getting mollied. This lower area is getting mollied. This upper area is getting mollied. Where am I gonna play as a CT? Here is like the one area that doesn't get affected by those mollies, but then I'm getting double swung. And in fact, the point of one of the mollies is to force me into this double swing, in which I'm also probably gonna get hit by a flash. If I could get it, a flash that lands on just perfectly on top of this. Is the pure flash, I think, for anyone playing in this area, because it also, like, if you get a flash to pop there, then you just like cry as a CT, because you're just here, and if you were looking at either, like, you have to be in a molly to not be looking at that blind, like where the mollies are, so you're like forced to see that flash when it, oh yeah, it's just double molly, throw that flash, you swing, it doesn't blind you, I'm a T, and that flash has been thrown. Yeah, there's just like, it doesn't blind me whatsoever. Like, it's great. Maybe this bathroom area is more viable than I gave it credit for. It's somewhere to like hide, tuck. You might want to unironically consider making the bathroom a more viable area. Something else to consider, but isn't necessary, is putting a piece of cover in this region of the map for a CT to like play around. I feel like this gives a lot more for the CT team, because it's an angle that can't easily be flushed out with all the mollies. Because I feel like as it is right now, there's already so much utility to be thrown. I think this one box doesn't do too much. It just creates a nice, like, anchor. Not anchor is the wrong word. I mean, I guess it is an anchor position. And like the, closer to CT, that's easy to play around for a CT. And then the Ts, they can use utility to get most of the angles, but this angle is super passive. It doesn't let you, all these other angles that you aggressively hold be main, and you'll get early information when the sight hit is occurring, right, because you take contact. This, you are pretty much letting them get up close, and they are going to be throwing like, flashes and stuff and executing. And, they've already mollied everything, and they just throw like a flash that like, I don't know, that lands right there. It'd probably be higher to like actually pop, but you get the idea. You just throw flashes and swing, and oh no, I gotta be ready to fight as these guys are hard swinging out. I think it's a very interesting PE site that gets hit. I think this box gives a lot more options for someone, because right now it feels like this corner, this side area is like the one angle I can play, and it's like a one and done. I don't have a lot of options. I like this because I can peek from the left and right and play around it better. Everything else is nice, but it's gonna get mollied on proper executes. And you're going to be smoking CT as well, so you don't have like this angle. That would probably be good. I said a lot about B. I feel like I talked about A as well as to the utility you would use. Make this boostable. Giving T's another option here would be nice. I think as CTs, I think they're fine, because I guess like theoretically, right? You've got a smoke that lands there, and you've got like a molly that lands deep back here, and as well as one close here. And then you got the smoke that lands. Wait. A smoke would land like. You'd probably want like a smoke that lands here. and then a smoke that lands like here. And these are definitely like throwable from like relative safety. This one you could throw you'd probably have to find a lineup from here if you wanted to do it super easily. You could probably throw that as well from here. We talked about this earlier. You throw those two smokes and then you just kind of waltz onto this bomb site, just taking your aim duels with pop flashes. Probably gonna want a molly for some, probably like a molly that pops towards the mouth. And if they're further in the back, then they will be swung as someone swings left. They just pre-fire, and they have a very easy time on this. Because if I go to the back, I can stand more to the left and I'm fine. But theoretically, you could just also just like line this for a second volley, this guy's forced into the open, or which is also probably partially smoked. So this big box becomes like the one like point of to play. And even that I think is just like a very easy thing to get a volley for time was spent like at all. Yeah, it's a very executable site for the T's. I think there's a lot of interesting utility options, and as a CT, you have to get aggressive early on to try and. I think both sites, it's super easy for T's to hard exec on with a couple mollies and smokes, and good pop flash, like any bomb site ever. And so CTs need to get aggressive, but T's have the ability to early on just use a double nade or a molly to deny that aggression. So it becomes very difficult. This area is, just one single choke. This, I think, should be a boost. It just makes the site more dynamic. I think it's going to come down to like playing around like this off angle. And, you could theoretically get a smoke that pops here and play like that and then get rid of that off angle, right? And that's not like a bad idea. Oh, wait, no, there's a cap on it. It's a bit too large for a single smoke. So I think this leads to an interesting thing where a CT might need to play a bit more open if they don't want to get fully mollied, because again I just think it's as simple as like there's 4 places that you would throw a molly. One deep here, one close here, one on this white box, and one for someone tucked here. Like you aren't going to throw all of them. Like you don't need to use that much utility for an execute, but it's something you have the option to do. You're just probably going to want to throw this one and then either both of these or just the one for close, and then you're in a good spot. And then you have the option for under this little tuck spot. I think it's an interesting site in general. Both of them are. And CTs have options. This is a mid. I've already looked at it a bit, but CTs can jump up here. They can do things. Can I get onto that? No, it's just I don't think I can. But you just kind of jump around. This is just a big box. I can't get on it in any way, shape, or form. Maybe a boost, ground boost, who cares? You can get aggressive here. This needs to be clipped better. It's like not. If I came at it originally at an awkward angle and it was not ideal, so clipping it would be nice. Jumping up here does feel a bit awkward as well. I might just be like stupid. But like the very first time I jumped, it felt strange. I don't know. I think I'm just dumb. I don't even have to jump or crouch. It's just a jump. There's no gap in the prop. Very cool. So yeah, you just like fight around here as a CT and are like, you can hold this drop or you can hold people coming here, and this is technically like another way to swing the angle. So you gotta hold 1 angle, 2 angle, and then 3 angles in the mid, right? And you could just forego all of them in favor of playing back here. Just the real thing you gotta worry about is the vent. That's like the actual, they get vent or they get this connector mid to A. Oh yeah, but I mentioned earlier, CT should get this combo. This makes the site like a lot more doable, because even if a smoke gets popped here, I'm sorry that I was talking about right now, but meandering is what I did. Now there's options, and theoretically, right, this is gonna get mollied or something like from a man back here. There's probably like a jump throw lineup. Oh, I suck. Jump throw lineup. You can find that. Yeah, it's definitely possible to get something to land here, like a molly or like a smoke if you wanted. But that's just like one more piece of utility necessary for the execute, and I think it makes it a lot better. And this guy's probably going to get just like, hit by a flash anyways. I feel like you're going to see a very potent pop flash that is kind of similar to the half wall flash that pops like here, and then they swing right after, and then they don't have to worry about being even remotely blind. And then you're probably going to have people like back here who are throwing. This is like a hard, like, this is like the guy, they will be watching flank later for retake, and they're just rethrowing good utility. Like for the site execute, because you can definitely throw like a very solid like flash. I did not mean it for I'm stupid, but you could throw a very solid like flash for the execute of some kind. I just kind of like randomly threw one. It's not meant to be real, but what I did earlier with the right click on the other, I mean that could maybe, oh, I'm terrible. can maybe be the tech for this one. Because having a flash that pops in this general area is pretty good because it doesn't hit people who are swinging in. They're not looking at that angle whatsoever. Like, I'm here. Oh, I got full blinded. Never mind, I lied. But basically, just having a flash that pops like on this area, probably not going to blind too many of your T's and hits most of the site. Anyways, back on mid. You're holding for the vent angle. That's your whole thing. And this. If you play like an angle like this, you can get swung from lower or upper, which is not ideal. So you want to hold deeper. You kind of need 2 people. This map feels decent, like very decent. Let me check the run. I'm here. I move at 55. Let me see when I can get posted on an angle. At like 6 seconds, I can get to here and get on like what I would consider the best thing. You probably like jump up, and then you can hold this. Let me just see the T. The T perspective is definitely a lot longer. Let me go at a nice 30-36 as well. Yeah, I feel like that as a CT, what you're doing is you're here, and then you're like trying to throw utility that bounces off this wall to assist you. I feel like you need a smoke here. That's some for there. You either need to get super aggressive throwing a smoke here and then fight like hard, and then you attempt to like even take control of this, which is kind of absurd. What you're more likely gonna do is this smoke that I just threw. It's gonna pop here. And then you only have to worry about this upper area, and then you can maybe like lurk around it and stuff, but this upper area is the main thing. I think that there should be like a thing that goes into the wall here, like a bit, like a recession into the wall for a CT, that if a CT, you know, they smoke, molly, flash, whatever, and they get aggressive, they can get into like a nice like tuck area that holds the vent passively, because otherwise it's just hard. Retaking, you know, both the bomb sites, it's very easy to hard execute on a site, so it's going to be all about the retakes. And if you want to go through this like planks area, you gotta break the vent, so it's an audio cue. You should have a checkered floor, make it checkers, make it cash, it'd be great. I love the fucking warping on this texture in the vent, it's lovely. But it's definitely, retaking is going to be a big part of this. I never really looked at like after plant and the bomb site, it's like on the bomb site. I looked at everything but that, but you can, you know, plant for here, and it's like open to like CT, flanks, and like a double swing from the areas. Like this is like, probably you're gonna want to plant here. Even if I'm like if the bomb is planted there, I can like attempt to long arm it. I guess more towards the, if it's like here, it's basically if it's planted here, like in line with this like crate thing, this box. Right, just a bit offset, right, like this, exposed to heaven as well. This is like the most open plant spot. This is the safe plant spot. This is also kind of safe, it depends. Retaking is going to be tough, but doable as you come out of this CT area. I want a window here to chuck utility. Let me throw like a running molly that lands, or like a smoke that lands there. It's a very retake oriented site. I want like another utility hole here as well. It's gonna be like a utility hole on both sides of this thing to make it easier for me to launch retakes onto the site, because it feels very hard. I would love to just yeet a molly and then have it land here, because this seems like this little back area. This is like post plant where I'm gonna be playing a lot, like behind this this fence. This wooden plank, right, which I'm going to call a fence. You hold heaven from there, and then you peek around and you fight CT, right? And this is like a big part of the movement if you're playing on site itself, or you're playing like tucked here. And again, I just think like giving more utility holes to let people deal with it lets me easily smoke main and this plank single, like without having to contest anything as it is right now. I think like heaven is like my one thing. And let me just. This is like that level. Use those bullet holes. Can I see? Yeah, I can see kind of deep into there just from back here. I don't have to jump or anything. As soon as I'm at the top of this ramp, I'm visible to a guy. And if they wanted to, they could probably see me a bit earlier if they were. Can I not? Yeah, I can do this jump. If they were a crackhead, they could jump onto this barrel, of course, and see me a bit earlier. And they're like fully safe from CT. So, and my crosshair placement's not going to be entirely ready for it. It's definitely tough. And we got this spam ability. It's very, very difficult to do things on this bomb site for CTs initially. Making retakes easier, I think, is a big part of this. Oh my god, we're almost at first 40+ minute map meandering. I'm insane. I'm just saying so much, but really saying so little. Yeah, it just feels very hard to do stuff as a CT. I think you're going to want to give them a bit more in mid to make it easier for them to take mid control and play around that, and then they can at least attempt to play on retakes. A just seems very hard. Honestly, just making this like a deeper angle and making this like something playable would be kind of nice. Just recessing it in about the size of like this box, just that length backwards, just a nice little cubby, a corner, and that's like another thing that exists and a utility would have to be used for, and that would make life easier for CTs on A. B is just so difficult. This box helps a lot, and then mid, you just kind of want like a thing over here. Like I think in general you just need more positions for CTs to play in areas, so that way Ts, if they want to successfully molly smoke everything, they have to utilize more utility, because the way it is right now, it is entirely possible to just hard exec on a site very easily and without having to use all your utility. Like I can just, like again, I can one molly down here, one molly up here, third molly here, a smoke on CT, and that's the site hit. And then I can re-smoke this later, and I've used 2 smokes and 3 mollies and maybe a flash or 2, right, to help take a site. And I just trade onto this guy that's playing mid tier. Like that's very easy for B. You don't really even need mid. You can just come out of main. Yeah, what's the CT counterplay? Just keeping the angle permanently smoke mollied. When you see the utility coming, you throw a counter molly. But again, like if you throw a molly, they can just like pre-smoke it. And honestly, just having to push out of a smoke here isn't the worst thing in the world. It can be annoying. This planks angle, I think, is like one of the only places for a CT to play. I think when you're coming out as a T, you're gonna have to be worried about this, and honestly, probably even like if you've taken the fights here and you know you're kind of safe, this might be something that gets smoked. Because it's just so tough. It seems difficult to clear this with utility, and that's good. I just want another place like that, and then theoretically you play a crossfire on this, and then B becomes a lot more viable for CTs. A site, once again, is just very hard for CTs to play good angles on, because they just get flushed out by so much utility that's definitely easy to throw. Like I want a molly to land there. I just kind of sit in this general area, and then and that's assuming there's a smoke there, right? And either, you know, a CT has thrown an aggressive smoke to hold down this, or I've thrown a smoke here to hold down that. I can quite easily from back here just kind of boop, running molly, and then well, I suck, but you get what I mean. If I wasn't there for the game, then you can just do a molly that clears out anyone playing in this on the bomb site area, and they're fucked. Like that one molly does so much. You need just that one molly and these 2 smokes, and honestly the site is kind of yours. Like, without this barrel, like what my only option as a CT, if there's a molly here, is to play around this area and attempt to take angles, but I'm certainly getting like flashed for sure. And let's say, and if people, you know, again, played this map, there's definitely going to be like a molly that's found that there's going to probably be one molly that lands like fully deep, and it's going to make it so you can't really push through the smoke, and there's going to be one molly that's actually on this box that just absolutely eviscerates anyone who wants to play in that area. Yep, there we go. And then you are not playing here. The only area that's like vaguely viable is this corner, but you don't have angle advantage. Just making this deeper gives them another avenue. Giving a thing here, again, another avenue. There's one more molly, one more smoke that needs to be used by the Ts, making it, you know, a more utilities used on the take, making retake easier. Because if you don't have to use too many smokes or mollies on the initial take, then retake just becomes an absolute nightmare. And retaking already seems a little difficult as it is. Crunching the site from you know, retaking from CT, once the smokes are faded, it seems easy, right? Because you come out here, and you have a nice piece of cover protecting you from main. You can swing right or left, but they can just re-smoke this, and you got a while. And then they can also decide to throw a deeper CT smoke if they want to, right? Like there's a lot of options T's have. I just think this map needs a bit more for CTs. As the way it stands right now, I think it's a bit T-sided. I'm probably entirely wrong. I'm an idiot, but it's just how I feel, is that this map is skewing heavily towards the T side. CTs, yes, it's like, oh, I can throw one piece of utility and cover this, but you can just use your legs and go around, and you have this option over here. What I said earlier about making this boostable, maybe not, because T's have too many avenues onto this. Like, they have so much power in other ways that you don't need this. It would be fun, but maybe you don't want it from a balance perspective, because it's so T-sided in other ways that maybe leaving it as one shot, because you can't even smoke it. You can just peek over, and again, like I said earlier, you could probably find a lineup to molly smoke this upper area, but It's hard. Anyways, I said all there is and then some about this map. I hope you enjoyed. We saw the contact points. Mid is interesting. From a T perspective, you would probably just want to throw a smoke that plumes. Well, the perfect smoke would probably be one that plumes on this. If you could find that, then you just get vent for free, and you don't even need the mid area. If you want, you can throw a deeper smoke that lands here, right, and you can do a split. Take A from two sides, but I don't even think you want to do that. I think it's honestly easier to just kind of hard send it through here with a good flash with the mollies and stuff. What am I going to do as a CT? My only option is to play close and you just trade out and you take it. Yeah, that's everything. Bye-bye. I hope you enjoyed. This was Firestrike. I hope you enjoyed rambling. The longest episode yet, and probably the one filled with the most of me saying the same things again and again. You love to see it.